Hello everybody, Glitch Reaper here. I'm back for another vlog, and thing is, I got some weird mixed news. Now, some of my series are still just going on, but mostly in the background stage right now because I'm doing a lot of work with my remaining time, where I have to do a lot of stuff off screen and prepare. But when it comes to crazy Minecraft, there's where I have a legitimate issue. There was some kind of launcher update, and then the pack wouldn't load, so I'm not sure what's going on there. I'm hoping it gets corrected, but there's nothing I can do on my end. It has to do with the launcher, because there's nothing that I changed in the game, and I know that there was a launcher update, and then it just refused to let me load the pack, so that I'm not sure what all's going to happen about. Yeah, if it's completely gone, I'll definitely do an update later about that. I don't think it is. I mean, I've got the world information. Uh, I can't revert the launcher itself. I can only revert like a pack version, and that's apparently not going to happen anytime soon. Or maybe it will. I don't know. I have no idea if the launcher will be corrected in time. Meanwhile, I may have some other ideas of things to do in the meantime, or I may just use that time for extra time to do sort of my in-between episodes work that I've been needing to do. So I'm not sure exactly what all's going to go down. I mean, I did originally have some ideas, and I do want to kind of get back to showing off the rest of that run that I did on Undertale. I kind of got a little into a major rhythm and kind of didn't have a particular day for it or anything, so I might use that partially as filler. Also, there was something I was originally planning for my big 1,000 subscriber line as a way of celebrating, and because that's finally come around and I've got kind of an empty slot, I might finally use it for it. Because I was originally going to go through Minecraft Story Mode after that, and the thing about it is I won't be able to do like the season 2 arc as far as I know because I don't think that's downloadable anymore, and I wasn't able to get a hold of it before that whole ordeal happened with uh, Telltale Games was the ones that was uh, working with Mojang on it. But basically, if I can't actually download that arc, then I'm going to be mainly just limited to the season 1. So that's just kind of a thing there that keep in mind. And I'm not sure how possible that's going to be because that whole thing was a serious Steam disaster. I mean, on Steam, like, I don't know how they're handling their uh, downloads and stuff of that afterwards. So I'm hoping the fact that I downloaded it before that, it'll be okay. I'm pretty sure it will be. I'm just saying that stuff could happen. So originally it was my plan to go on with season 2, but again, also stuff happened. So that was a problem. Now, if I go through, if I manage to go through both of those things, Undertale's like remaining part of that run, and including the kind of like the big finale of it and everything, where you can see a bit more after the fact and everything in a very special way. Not too many games let you play around that much after you basically won. So yeah, uh, and then of course there's like if I get through story mode. Well, if I get through both of those, and I still am having issues with crazy Minecraft, I might start doing some Deltarune or some other things on the channel as filler. I don't know. I mean, when it comes down to it, if I kind of run out of the other series, like if I finale all of them, I might start doing something like I did before, where I had like one series I was maintaining other than mob battles and stuff, and that so I might do something kind of like a season 2 of darn lips. I might finally do a season 2 of Solitary Craft after all this time, because I had been kind of thinking of doing it for whenever I didn't have too terribly much else that I could maintain, and if my time became kind of sporadic again. Because that's kind of what I did with Solitary Craft Season 1, is it became kind of my whenever I could series. So I uploaded it pretty frequently, but at the same time, it was basically just whenever I had a chance. So it just kind of turned out that way because I didn't at the time know what else I could do. And it just kind of grew into its own thing. And I'm thinking it'll probably be a lot like that in Solitary Craft Plus Season 2. Uh, it will be a post. Sorry. It will be a pre-combat update series because if I do Solitary Craft Plus Season 2, it'll be in 1.8.9, which was a bit more mod stable than 1.8, but still, 1.12.2 is just a lot better. So, as far as I'd like to keep going, I definitely want to do uh, Thaumic Resurgence 2 for quite some time, and it's going to be something that I'd like to do sort of long term, but everything will have its end at some point. And whenever I don't have anything else I'm thinking of doing as a long term series, it will probably be a good time to start Solitary Craft Plus Season 2. Again, that I know it may seem like I'm putting it off, but it really is kind of going to be so miscellaneous that I think that would be pretty much how it would have to happen. Is whenever I really can't think of anything else to do as like a major modded survival series because like I've got my mob battles that's going to keep on going and that's pretty good for me to maintain. I've got my Magic the Gathering channel with kind of like my Fridays kind of reserved for me to record that because Friday Night Magic is just so traditional that it even got me caught up with the old one, so I just had to go with it. So there's stuff that I'd still maintain regardless of anything else, but if I really kind of just ran out of other ones that I'm really feeling, then I'd probably do that. And I kind of have it mostly set up in advance where I know there's a lot of things that I'd enjoy in it, but it's also something that it could go terribly wrong pretty fast too. Because again, 1.8.9, I mean, it was again, it was decent for modding, but not optimal. So if I wind up having an absolute world-crushing bug that I can't get around, or like if I don't have a world copy at just the right point in it, then that could end things pretty fast. So I know that that's always possibly true, and we've got to admit that that's always been a thing. But it's also gotten progressively better where there's not as many of those kind of bugs around these days in modern Minecraft. And 1.8.9 was kind of one of the last versions that really had that problem of being like decently uh like decently frequent that it showed up. So again, no idea how that would go out. I just try to see if I could enjoy the mods as much as I could while I could. And that was kind of how it was with Solitary Craft Plus Season 1, but so it'll be kind of more that. And I'm kind of surprised how long that went on without having an absolute major issue before I decided to finale it. And now I've got some series that's going on even longer than that, but again, they're in okay. For the most part, they're in more stable versions. Admittedly, Crazy Minecraft itself was in 1.7.10, and that version is it has its own issues. I mean, it's still fairly popular, but it definitely has some major issues with mod packing sometimes. I mean, it was one of the first that could handle big ones, but even then, you could have some serious problems really fast, and that I and the thing is, sometimes it's not the pack, sometimes it's the launcher's interaction with the pack, and I think that's what's happened to kind of keep me from being able to load it. Is I think there's just something about the transition that they did recently with their launcher, so it kind of may have made it unworkable, even though there's like no major bug that I ran into before I turned it off last time. Like I don't remember there being a giant world crashing bug. I just really think that it was the update. And that's the thing, 1.7.10 also had a lot of issues with trying to get pack launchers working just right with everything. And so, again, the farther back you go, the more problems you get, basically, for the most part. Although 1.7.10 was kind of a good point where things started getting better. But, again, it's a problem. So, there may be a point where I don't do any pre-combat update series, but and it's something that I haven't purposefully done and haven't purposefully not done either because I'm fairly okay with switching between Minecraft versions. So for me, that's perfectly fine to have series on both ends of it, pretty far. But it's just there will probably be a time where I just coincidentally don't have anything I'm really in particularly feeling on when it comes to pre-combat update. So there may be a time where it's just only the more modern versions. And you gotta admit also that combat update was kind of the split between them, between what you're calling the modern and I guess what you could say kind of the legacy versions. So it's just kind of that point where everything changed really fast. And when it comes down to it, there's a lot of things I love about both. Uh, I love post combat update quite a bit because I just love the expansion of the end and so many other things that came in with it. I mean, honestly, dual wielding. Thank you so much for this Mojang. We've been enjoying this ever since. So that explains a bit of that. Now, pre-combat update, spam attacks were definitely the thing, but admittedly that also made certain things problematic because some mods kind of relied on that to deal any amount of decent damage to their mobs. So yeah, so they had to kind of rethink their dependency on that aspect. So I guess it's more coming down to it, more of a difference in style. But I'm good with kind of mode switching between them. But again, I don't know if the thing is, there's not very many packs left that I was really feeling in that era. So when it comes down to it, just kind of progressing forwards, I've been feeling a lot more of the post-combat update packs, and including ones I've made for myself. So, or especially, I should say, because you kind of got to make one with yourself in mind when it comes down to do you want to do a mod pack whenever you're a mod pack creator. So it's kind of a little behind the scenes thing on that. So just something to keep in mind. It's something that I wanted to do. So, and that reminds me one last thing about mod packs. I am thinking maybe sometime of finally releasing my Magic and Mythos pack out into CurseForge and my Engender testing. With my Engender testing pack, it was something that has actually been requested more than I thought. But the thing is, originally I had versions of it that were kind of exclusive to me doing it because they were testing versions. So there were ones I were given directly and were not available to the general public. That's no longer true. Interment of Doom has gotten caught up, so he's gotten like the same versions out that I've got. So it's become where I could just release it straight up with no major issues about saying, oh, this is unrecognized by CurseForge, it's not on there. Because sometimes whenever you put in a special version of something, or something is not specifically on CurseForge, it does not like it. So it's something to keep in mind that if I say I've got something on there that CurseForge doesn't like, whenever I say that there'd be problems with me releasing as a mod pack, that means I really mean it, because I probably had to do a custom download to get it. So it's something that you gotta think of behind the scenes for the mod pack maker too, is that some of this stuff gets a little wonky at times with how it actually works behind the scenes, and you kind of gotta adapt to that. So it's something that I've been used to for a while, but not everybody may know, because again, not everyone who does Minecraft actually makes mod packs, or for that matter, plays them, or even uses mods for that matter. There are still some strictly vanilla people out there, and I was for quite some time before I decided to get into mods. So I remember that as to how it was and kind of how it felt to be. I'm not doing that yet. So I know where you're coming from, strictly vanilla people. I can relate because I was there once. And sometimes I do like just playing some vanilla Minecraft, just to do things like, say, testing new features and stuff. Like, I mean, look at where we're at now. This is 1.14, and I have a panda. Isn't that nice? They're still doing pre-releases and version updates because they're still debugging, so we're still not even technically in final 1.14 yet, so that kind of says a few things. But speaking of saying a few things, I think that's pretty much all I had to. So I'll be logging off for now. Hope to hear from you all later. So bye for now, everybody, and remember, yes, as usual, as traditional with my vlogs, join the parrot party. I wish they had the panda dance to music too. That would be so legit. I mean, come on, panda. Maybe if I just dance next to him. That does not look right. Help. This is not looking right. I need to dance with a panda in a way that looks right. Okay. 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 Join the parrot party.